Hello everyone, welcome back to the Practically Blind workshop. Today I'm going to be making camera stand slash boom. I've been using one of these selfie stick tripod things that you might have seen on TikTok or Amazon, and it does the job, but it's a little bit flimsy for what I have been doing, and you might have noticed in some of my shots the camera wobbling. So I've got some parts, all of which I had laying around. I've got this old trampoline pole. Look, I've got loads of scraps of 18mm ply, plasters that I took off the base of my pillar drill stand that used to be on wheels, but now it is on a gallows bracket. I found some of these twisty knobs, which I'm sure I might be able to use. I've got a small bag of rapid dry cement, which I was going to use for a different project a long time ago, it's still good. I've got this old sweet tub, and the idea with this is I want it to be able to hold my phone or a camera, hold a battery bank, possibly a small microphone boom, because I'm not fond of having it here. So yeah, I'm going to start by cutting this flattened section off here and this curved section off here. So off camera I have drilled a hole through the pole and fixed a bolt through it, like that, so that when it sits in the concrete it locks it in and it can't get pulled out of the concrete and it can't twist. Now what I'm going to do is fix this piece of ply to the bottom of the tub. getting it as central as possible. And you'll see that the screw heads poke into the tub slightly, but that won't matter. It'll also help secure the tub and the base piece of plywood to the cement. Next, I'm going to fix the casters on, and I'm using 16mm screws and washers. It probably would be best to use some small bolts, but I haven't got any and I'm just using what I've got. And all moving nicely. Do is drill a hole in the center of the tub that is the same diameter as the metal pole, and it will go almost all the way through the 18mm ply, but not quite, so the pole won't move out of center. So yeah, like I said, only drilling about halfway through, just so that the pole will sit in the center when the cement is. Next, what I've done is I've clamped the pole into my vise sitting in the tub, and I'm just gonna check it for level. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try mix it up in the tub. Might have overdone it with the water a little bit, but hopefully that will soak all the way through. And what I'm going to do is just use the side of the oscillating multi-tool. The cement is drying in the tub. I'm going to start making the carriage that will hold the boom arm for the camera or phone. So what I've done is I've cut 2 squares of 18mm ply and 2 strips of 18mm, and I think it's either 9 or 12mm ply, which just so happens to be the right thickness to allow the pipe to slide. So I'm going to start assembling the carriage that will ride up and down on the pole. So the first carriage I made is no good because super gluing a nut on the inside to tighten the knobs down didn't work. So what I've done is I've brought some T-nuts off of Amazon for a few quid, and I'm going to remake this and put the T-nuts on. So I've cut some more strips on the table saw, this time a little bit more narrow just to take the weight down a little bit on the carriage, and I'm going to get them glued. So I'm going to get one side of the carriage glued together, then I'm going to mount the T-nut in the gap where the pole will be going, and then I can mount the front of the carriage. You'll see what I mean in a minute. Now I'm just going to trim this all down across here and across here on the chop saw. Now I need to drill a 8mm hole in the center of this channel and then chop around the T-nut so that the T-nut stays in place. What I'm also going to do on this updated version is have the front face plate screwed on and not glued on, so I can remove. So now what I'm going to do is I've drilled a hole in the meat of one side of the carriage. I'm going to remove the faceplate and then I'm going to mount another T-nut to receive the knob for the boom arm. So that's the T-nut for the boom arm mounted. Now I'm going to sandwich it between the faceplate and the rest of the carriage. So that's the main carriage made. That's the adjustment for the height. And I found this knob in amongst my bits and bobs, which I'm going to use to adjust the boom arm. What I've done now is I cut a strip of scrap ply on the table saw, and then I use the table saw to cut a groove along the middle, just flipping it between cuts to slowly widen the groove. And then I've glued a piece in the end to close up. Then the boom arm will be able to slide on this, which will be in the carriage. So I've made up this small block of ply, which is two 18mm pieces stuck together, and then cut to about 5 or 6 centimeters by 4 centimeters, and then I've drilled a hole in the top. Now I'm just going to mount it to the end of the boom arm. So I've got this spare storage bin which came out of a cheap set from Aldi, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it to the top of the carriage so I can store my power bank and microphones. I'm just going to use the offcut of pipe to make sure the hole's lined up. So all that's left to do is to repurpose this mount by cutting it off about there and then putting it into this hole. So I'll see you when I've done that. So that is it, all finished. So the height of the carriage is here, and then the adjustment for the boom arm is at the back. And if you imagine this power bank is my phone, I've got a full range of motion like this. And that tightens up like that, and then this head swivels this way and that way. It'll go 360, and then I can go up and down like this, and there's a swivel like this. So if this arm comes down like that, and I can swivel that level, and if I want to point it down, I can point it down, and then now it's pointing so I can point it at anything I want really. But when it was just the original tripod, it would wobble and it would take forever to stop wobbling, whereas this, if I give it a gentle little, and there it is, pretty much stopped in about 3-4 seconds. Plus I've got onboard storage for my microphones and power bank, so if my phone's on a low battery I can just run a cord from the power bank to the phone. The only thing I'm not 100% happy with is the casters, so I'm thinking about taking them off. Try and cut a triangular piece of ply, fix it to that piece of ply, and have 3 feet, which I think will be a lot more stable. And like I say, it isn't that heavy, and as you can see, it's got a much smaller footprint than the original tripod. And even with the casters, it's more stable. So without the casters, I think it'll be. So yeah, that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and comment. It really helps the channel grow. And I'll see you next time.